What is up, cats and kittens and members of the Geek Army? On this video, we're going to have a little fun discussion about female Broly, the character that everybody seems to be losing their freaking mind over, both in good and bad ways. Of course, at the end of Dragon Ball Super episode 75, the next episode preview of the Fuji TV broadcast, we saw a glimpse of her. I've done a couple videos on her already. On this video, though, I want to kind of speculate. I'm going to do what everybody else does, and I'm going to speculate on 15 seconds of footage. No, I'm kidding. What we're going to do is we're going to have some fun discussion here where we're going to theorize about who this character may be and take some of the ideas I've seen from the social media outlets and, talk about it and have a discussion about kind of what we want to see from this character, what the possibilities might be. And I'm going to have something extra fun for you guys on this video. What I want to do is, after you get done hearing the entire video, I want you guys to leave a comment and let us know your brilliant idea of what you think this mysterious female Broly is, who she is. I want to know what your backstory about her is. Give me some real good creativity, and whoever has the best one is going to get their comment pinned in the description or in the comment section down below. So let us know your crazy, wacky idea for female Broly. But joining me on this video, speaking of crazy and wacky, you've heard him before. He's one of my favorite theorists to talk about, aka storytellers, with his tall tales. We're gonna have a discussion here. And by the way, this isn't gonna be a very heavily edited video at all. It's just gonna be a discussion podcast style for you guys to chill out with while you're playing your video games or just in the car or whatever. Just gonna be a chill discussion. But like I said, I do want to leave those. Do want to read those comments down below. Please welcome Reel to Reel Production CEO Mark.
What's up, Geekdom? Thank you for having me on again. I am so freaking pumped to talk about this, man. Like, we have a female-looking Broly.
Yes, yeah, and it's wacky. We need to make very clear that she is not Broly. She just looks a lot like him. Well, when she transforms. In her regular form, she's like a little innocent-looking girl, but then she becomes this Broly. I mean, it's remarkably like Broly. And I've talked about before how this is going to be, or it seems like it's an homage to Broly. It's not Broly, but it's an homage to her. Now, the one thing I want to start off the discussion with, Mark, is the not similarities, but the connection she may have with Kaba. Now, Kaba and her have similar eyes, and they also have the same belt buckle. Now, Kaba himself, in the Universe 6 arc, told Vegeta that that people on planet Sadal wear those kind of clothes. Now, this kind of makes me think that she is indeed a Saiyan from planet Sadal. I mean, we can at least presume that. It just seems likely.
Oh, yeah, definitely. I mean, obviously, looking at their clothes and just the general appearance, it seems like when you look at Saiyans from Universe 6, they have, I guess, more slanted eyes, shorter eyebrows, and kind of more, I guess, more defined hair, spikier. I'm not necessarily sure. Kaba has that Gohan-looking hair, and she seems to have kind of more pinned up and done up hair. It's like kind of, she has the bangs and she has it's interesting that they seem to have more of a sense of style than what we've seen in other incarnations of the Saiyan people, both in Dragon Ball Zero and in the Bardock specials that we've
You
seen.
mean Dragon Ball Minus? The fuck is Dragon Ball Zero is like a fan manga, bro.
Yeah, Dragon Ball Minus. That's what I mean.
Yeah, well, she does kind of look like Chi-Chi a little bit. Like, she has like the Chi-Chi hair, kind of similar. Her arms. She resembles like a young Chi-Chi. But yeah, then she gets really mad and becomes a look-alike to Broly. And we don't really know the context. Like, we don't know what gets her so mad. We haven't seen the episodes yet. But some of the theories I wanted to throw at you here that I've seen in the fandom is her relation to Kaba. We know she's a Saiyan from Universe, or we don't know, but we're pretty certain she's a Saiyan from planet Sadal. Or maybe from another planet, but I would presume it's Sadal because of the clothing. Is she Kaba's sister, his girlfriend? What are the possibilities of that? And if it is his girlfriend, I can't even imagine.
I
can't
really
even imagine the house life of Kaba, bro.
I would really like it to be. Honestly, I don't think it's his sister. I have a different idea of what her lineage is, and we'll get to that in the discussion. But personally, I feel like I would really like it to be his girlfriend, just because it subverts sort of expectations. Toriyama doesn't necessarily like to focus on shipping and, these character interactions of like, oh, this person's my girlfriend. But we've seen that a lot in Dragon Ball Super, both with Krillin and 18 and recent episodes, also in the very beginning of the series, but also with
Videl and
Bulma and
Gohan.
Chi-Chi, Videl and Gohan, even like Goku and Chi-Chi, Vegeta and Bulma. We've seen it a lot in this series as opposed to the rest of the series, like Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Z, even Dragon Ball GT, if you want to count that. And it's just going to be, it would be really interesting to have him have a girlfriend and give Kaba a little bit more character development like that, and also introduce a cool character like this if it ends up being cool and just as cool as it looks, mostly, yeah.
Now, we need to talk about some things that I think a lot of fans are forgetting, and that is that Kaba states that in Planet Sadal and Universe 6, the Saiyans do not have tails. They have evolved differently, and they don't have tails, so that right there is a factor. No Great Ape transformations in that universe, from what we understand. Also, he says that he's never seen a Super Saiyan before until, of course, Vegeta teaches him how to do it in like 10 seconds, whatever. It's a bargain sale, like he said, right? So one of two things has to be the case here. Either Kamba did not know of her existence when he went to go fight in the previous tournament, or Kaba somehow taught her how to achieve this form, or he went back to the planet and taught a bunch of people how to achieve the form, and she just happened to be the big prodigy, like Broly was. He was a prodigy. I don't think she's Broly's daughter or anything like that. I've heard rumors, not rumors, just fans saying that. There's no relation to Broly except for the visual homage. I'm really, really doubtful that there's going to be even a reference to Broly, except for like a little joke here and there, like a tongue-in-cheek, maybe Goku and Vegeta could be like, this is interesting, like a throwback. They could do something like that, but other than that, it's not going to be a connection to Broly. What do you think about, that whole thing about Kaba and the Super Saiyans? What happened here? What do you think?
When it comes to Kaba, honestly, I don't necessarily think I don't put him in the category of having gone back and taught everyone how to use this form. I personally think I have just this idea that this is going to be her first time transforming. We saw in the other tournament that Kaba was a relatively very strong individual going into the tournament without ever having transformed. I mean, he was competing on par with Vegeta's base, which if you see a lot of other really credible YouTubers who are even remotely trying to power scale Dragon Ball Super, as hard as that is incredibly strong. Yeah,
yes.
He's very strong. Kaba was very strong just in his base, not even counting like the 50 times multiplier, if that even matters after a certain point, which I'm not necessarily sure. That's not my expertise. So personally, I just personally feel like it's a gut feeling that we're going to see this transformation the first time she discovers it and Kaba discovers it inside the tournament, and they just spoiled it. They spoiled this for us in order to get us excited for the tournament. Just subverting expectations. If this is Kaba's girlfriend, and what happens when he sees this for the first time? Because if it is his girlfriend, which is a complete speculation on our part,
or his sister or whatever. Yeah,
he's seen this before. Like if she already had this form, he's seen this before, and maybe it's a tongue in cheek. We'll just wait until you see how powerful she is.
He has to have, because she was chosen for this tournament. They're not going to pick Champa's not going to pick jabronis for Universe 6. He's going to bring out the big guns like Hit. We know Frost is coming back, and she is a big gun. Maybe when he went to Kaba was like, "Hey, I got this chick over here. Yeah, you wouldn't like her when she's angry."
I imagine that's probably likely what's going to happen. I'm just saying, in terms of subverting expectations and everything, we know this is coming. It's kind of this ironic little twist that they'll play for jokes. It depends on what you want from this character. Do you want her to be like her predecessor in terms of looks and just kind of a reference point, with Broly to be just kind of a rage machine that rolls over everyone in existence and is beaten by some kind of ridiculous Goku Ex Machina type of stuff? Or do you want someone who doesn't necessarily know that power exists and then finds it like Kaba did in the tournament? But maybe that is, like you're saying, maybe that is kind of playing it too close to what we've already seen in the other tournament. So who knows?
Yeah, I mean, who really knows? Now, let's talk about the Legendary Super Saiyan, all right? So a lot of people are already jumping the gun saying that she is the first female Super Saiyan. That's fine. People are saying that she's also a Legendary Super Saiyan. it looks like it has the same aura, but we don't know if that's really what this is. It
Hmm.
could be, but it might not be what this is. It might be a transformation that's like an homage to Broly again. Maybe it's her version of Super Saiyan Rage. I mean, it would kind of fit, right? So, what do you think the validity is of this? Because Broly being the legendary Super Saiyan in Universe 7 is, again, only in the movies, and then you've got Bardock from Episode of Bardock, which is an OVA, again, not really part of the original story. And then, of course, you've got just the myth that Vegeta talked about. And one thing I do want to clarify is that it never states in the series, it never says in the series that you have to have a tail or be born with one to become the quote legendary. Broly was born with a tail, but that doesn't mean that he had to have one. It never says that. So, what do you think what do you think about that? About her being an LSSJ, if she is? What do you think?
Uh, Interestingly, it would be interesting to see if she actually is, and they actually state that in one way or the other. But correct me if I'm wrong, because my facts on this are a little shaky. When Vegeta first brings it up, maybe this is just an anime thing, but when he first brings it up, they say that his power was so great that he'd be in anything besides his great ape form. Is that right?
He doesn't say that. He says that his power was too great to control, and they show a picture of a great ape,
Mm.
roaring.
Hmm.
In the anime, so that's kind of where they got the idea for Golden Great Ape in GT. They went all the way
Hmm.
back to that scene, but he never actually says you have to be a great ape to be a legendary. He never says that.
Well, no, I'm just trying to bring it back in such certain way. Like we said, like you just said, like in GT, they brought back a lot from the anime and all this other stuff. And Super is just kind of a culmination of just everything Dragon Ball at this point. And I think that's one of the reasons fans are just like so excited about everything they're seeing. And there's just so much to talk about because, like you've said in multiple occasions, there's just no terms of continuity. And with this being kind of a quote unquote legendary Super Saiyan or a reference point to Broly, it would be interesting to kind of depict that, if the Saiyans in Universe 6 actually don't have tails, but what if she did and they took it off and then she was, like you were just saying, they can just retcon it in that you have to have a tail, or this is kind of the culmination of actually becoming a Saiyan, a Super Saiyan, when you actually have a tail, or we don't see enough from her to know that she
Yeah,
has a tail or
she
not.
no, she doesn't have a tail. She can be. She's from Universe 6. She can have one.
That's my point, though. Like, I mean, there's mutations and everything. I mean, uh, all Kaba says is that they evolved out of them. They didn't like. He doesn't say whether none of them are actually have them or anything.
Yeah, that's
I'm
true. It's
spitballing.
implied.
I'm spitballing. We know even less about the Universe 6 Saiyans than we do about the Universe 7
Yeah, we
Saiyans.
just
So,
know they're good guys, pretty much, from what
hmm
Kava said. Now, here's the thing about let's talk about strength. All right, with this girl, I think okay. I don't know if this is done to bring in the Broly fans or the female fans or both. I don't know what Toei's real strategy is here, but I think it is a good one. And my question to you is about all this is, she's okay. I feel like with this character, they can't just make her a joke character because I feel like some people would be offended at that because they bring in a girl who's a Super Saiyan and she just does the job like that. I don't know if that would set right with a lot of people. Now, me, I like to wait and see how they portray it, how they play it out, but I almost feel like she has to, at the very least, kick some ass before she goes down. I mean, for all we know, maybe the whole joke's going to be that she rages out and literally runs through everybody, right? And
hmm
then she loses her anger, goes back to her little girl form or whatever, and then somebody just flips her out or something, like out of the ring or something. You know what I mean?
I would really really like that, honestly. You talk about, I would really like that because it would kind of it would allow them to kind of walk the line between she's super strong but yet she's still kind of feminine, and we're walking that line. But I wonder if doing something like that is going to become a little bit more controversial than it needs to be. I mean, introducing a female character that's only strong when she's emotionally devastated.
That's
It's
right,
like,
and that's another problem. I'm not disagreeing with you. That's another problem that they might run into.
yeah, and so honestly, like I'm really excited they're finally bringing in a female Super Saiyan. It's going to be really interesting, but like you just said, they're going to have to do something epic in order for us to kind of accept this. I mean, it's 2017. They really can't be playing with this idea that she's just an emotional wrecking machine. And I mean, they played the same thing with Gohan, and maybe they'll make it like that, but I think the context is a little different, both with the year and just in general. I feel like that won't be accepted well by a certain portion of the audience.
But at the same time, the whole race is known to be strong when they rage out, including Kaba.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
I mean, for all we know, Kaba might show up and be like, "Hey, I trained with Vados. Look at this. Boom, goes blue. Like, what's up now?" People will lose their shit for that. Now, your big theory, and we're gonna close out with this, is that she is. I love this. Your big theory, and I love it. I actually hope this is true. Is that she is the princess of Planet Sadal, the daughter of the king. I love this, and this needs to lead to Vegeta going there. This has to go to that. Enough dick teasing here. Oh, to tell us about that.
Okay, so this is a little bit multi-layered, honestly. We really just don't know. Personally, I would really like to see this woman, or this female Super Saiyan, the first woman that we've ever really seen be canonized in the series, be the princess of Planet Sadal. One thing we do know, we know very little about the Universe 6 Saiyans, but we do know that Kaba compared Vegeta to the king of the Saiyans. And we know that Kaba, for what it's worth, is I wouldn't call him a low-class warrior, but he's definitely a grunt. I mean, he did talk about fighting on like the front lines with Frost and everything. And that's, you look at like patriarchal societies or monarchical societies and stuff, like the people in the front lines are usually not like the royalty for the most part, unless the king's leading them in. But in general, he is a low-class Saiyan. And the one thing I would really like them to do, and what you've been talking about this whole time, of Broly being kind of a signal or kind of a homage or just kind of salute to Broly fans in general.
That's right, yeah.
It would be really interesting to play off the same thing, because like we've seen, and they've told us before, these are mirror universes. And while we've talked about at length in the past that just because they're mirror universes doesn't mean there's a Goku and Vegeta, because
there can't be, because there's no planet Vegeta.
Yes, exactly. Right? But it doesn't mean that parallels still aren't created. One of the things that they did in the original run of Z is that Goku was the one who turned Super Saiyan in a bout of rage to defeat a legendary enemy. Same thing with Kaba. He turned Super Saiyan to beat basically a Super Saiyan. And it would be really interesting if this girl is the princess to the world, and it would be like she's the royalty who became a Super Saiyan after Kaba, the same way that Vegeta was the royalty who became a Super Saiyan after Goku. And it would also be another nod to the whole Broly situation, that Vegeta wanted to become the legendary Super Saiyan. He always talked about becoming the legendary Super Saiyan, and this is a visual homage to the royalty of Planet Sadal actually becoming a quote-unquote legendary Super Saiyan as far as the fandom is concerned. So I think that would be a really interesting thing.
And I think it would be cool if maybe the king knew about, maybe Kaba went back and showed him what they can do, and the king was like, "Oh, that? Yeah, I've seen that before." And then like it's a big secret that she has this power, doesn't want to tell nobody, because she can lose control or something. I mean, who knows? So the idea is that if you're gonna be a Broly clone, you gotta also rage out. So let us know down below your quacky theories, the best ones to get pinned. And by the way, if you regurgitate any of the theories that we came up with here, you will not be pinned. You can feel free to talk about it, but you just proved that you didn't freaking watch the entire video, and you ain't gonna get pinned. So those of you who stayed till the end, thank you, and come up with some creative ones down below. What were you gonna say?
I do have like one last thing to say. What you were saying about like I've seen that before. The one thing I really like is, what if, like, in order to play off of like popular other cultural, like iconic media stuff that Toriyama has proved that he likes to do, it would be really interesting if she is not only a princess, but it's also kind of an homage to Frozen, where it's like you have this girl who has an unbelievable
man.
You have this girl who has an unbelievable power.
Sorry,
you have this girl who has an unbelievable power that could fuck everybody up.
This man
Excuse
just
the language.
said Frozen in a freaking Dragon Ball video about Broly. You know the kind of people that are gonna watch this video.
I'm just saying, like, in terms of having him locking her up for her whole life, because the Super Saiyan legend in Universe 6 Saiyans, it was something to be revered. They love power. They love raging. It's all they ever did. but Universe 6 Saiyans are good. They don't necessarily rage out. They don't take destruction in the same way. So maybe they look down on it and it's like, this is something we need to hide away. And then Kaba comes back and says, like, look what I can do, and I'm super good. And they're like, okay, like you said, oh, I've seen that before. Maybe you're right, and maybe we can give her a chance. And that's when they let her out, and she's actually super hella strong.
When they
and
let her out of the cage, bro. Is she in a cage somewhere in the dungeon of the castle? You never know, dude. You never know. That's what they do in the RPGs and shit, bro. She might be like Blind the Thief in A Link to the Past, where once she sees sunlight, rawr, you know. You never know.
Exactly. Well, that's just my theory. I mean, like, this is probably one of the reasons, if she did have this transformation well before Kaba, might be one of the reasons that Vados never really picked up on it, is because they had her hidden away.
That's actually would make sense. That would make a lot of sense. Dude, I love it. I love this discussion. Let us know in the comments. Again, the best theory will be pinned to the top. If I see a better one, it'll get repinned up there. Also, do it as fast as possible, because I'm probably only going to read them within the first 24 hours or so. So after that, I mean, I'm just not going to go back and check. So put them up as quickly as you can in the comments, your favorite female Broly theory, and check out Reel to Reel. If you want more wacky fairy tales in Dragon Ball, fan fiction without the manga, you got to check out Reel to Reel. Also, discussions about whether or not you would fuck female Broly. Is that on your channel or on World King Kanji's?
No, that's on mine. That's on mine.
He has a video about whether or not you would fuck. I'm not making this up. What's wrong with you, bro? All right. We'll talk to y'all later.